Buck smoke, we want all of it. So line them up, Trey shot with the blade, you know we sizing it up. I'm quick to catch the fade, you know Styles making the cut. Cause we coming out clean every time that we showing up.
It's gonna be called The Barbershop.
Yo, what up, folks? Welcome back. It's a brand new episode of the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. You can catch us streaming live on our Facebook page, YouTube channel, Twitch channel, on Twitter, and on Instagram at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. I'm Trey Frazier, and that's the homie Maestro Styles.
Yes, sir.
What's good, fam? What's going on, man? How was your week?
Hey, man, my week has been okay, man. It's been a little bit easier to bear on top of the AFC North, man. You know.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm just getting started. All is well. You know what I'm saying? I looked up I saw a random stat today that Justin Tucker is no longer the most accurate kicker in NFL history.
Who is?
Eddie Pinheiro of the Eddie Pinheiro. Yep. Mm-hmm. He is now officially the most accurate kicker in NFL history.
Huh. Well, Justin Tucker has been, at least from 50 plus, I think since last season, the percentage is like, I don't know, in like the 30 percentile.
Yeah, I was going to say, because Chris Boswell is definitely number one over 50 yards.
Yeah, man. He cost us that game, bro. He was the reason.
Hey, man.
He's the reason why we lost, man.
I'm sure we'll get into it later, man. I just wanted you to know that what I was on. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you got every right to be on it, man. Look, I mean, you see my background.
I do, man.
They don't deserve to be showcased right now this week, man. They on punishment this week.
So tell me about your tweet when you felt the need to let me know that the Knicks was whooping our ass last night. Tell me about it. Tell me how you felt.
I just felt like tweeting something. That's all.
Okay.
I just felt like it.
It
had nothing to do with Steelers Ravens, and had nothing to do with that.
Okay.
I just the game was on last night. Honestly, I didn't even know they was playing a back-to-back because they beat the Nets Sunday night. They played the Nets Friday night also. And I was like, oh, Knicks is on. Let me go turn that on because the football game last night, I think we all kind of knew the inevitable with the football game. So I turned that on and I'm like, yo, this niggas is whooping the Wizards' ass. I know you were saying it was, they had, some good games. They was playing some good games recently.
Yeah, but we still some trash. Like, it was like I wonder. It was like for real, bro. Like that's like, all right, you can have that. You can have that one.
Just some tweet interaction. That's all, man. It wasn't nothing. But yeah, y'all. But when you said that, I'm looking at the standing, and I'm like, damn, y'all lost 9 straight games. Like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, we're not good. We're not good, man. What you want me to say?
Wow. Well, hey, man. Is what it is. Jeff Fox, what's good, man?
Jeff Fox, what up, man?
What's good, man? This has been a minute.
What up?
Since we seen the homie, for sure.
Yeah, man. Man. Wizards some trash, man. But we got, hey, man.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Hey, man.
Go ahead.
Hey, man.
Nothing.
I mean, y'all felt felt real confident coming in.
As we should have.
I guess,
As we should have,
Y'all felt real confident coming into Acrisure, feeling like y'all was going, do what y'all, hey, man. I'll say this. I'm seeing like previews of power rankings and all those things, and to put the Ravens at like what? Okay, I'll ask you.
Yep.
This week, where do the Ravens rank in your mind?
So are we talking just in the AFC or are we talking overall?
NFL.
Overall NFL, I think they should be ranked. 6. I'll say 6.
Okay,
I'll say 6.
Detroit,
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo,
Yep.
Kansas City,
Mm-hmm. Eagles.
Eagles,
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
Baltimore. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess where I was struggling. And I guess you can't put Kansas City far down. I mean they lost one game and they the champs.
They are, yeah, and they already talking about Josh Allen, the lead for MVP now.
Hey,
That talk is going around now.
and let me be clear,
Mm-hmm.
I disagree with it, but I
Mm-hmm.
get it this week. I understand why those
because of who they beat. Because of who they beat.
The way he played,
mm-hmm.
and who they beat.
Yep.
And then with Lamar Jackson not having a great game,
mm-hmm.
Like we was having this conversation just last week. Lamar Jackson before Sunday, it wasn't no real conversation. It was Lamar Jackson here and everybody else,
Mm-hmm.
that wherever. And after this loss to Pittsburgh, he looked human. He came back down to the pal.
Yeah. I tried to look at it both ways. I tried to look at it both ways. I always like to look at head-to-head matchups, and we did smoke Buffalo, just a little over a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people on TV talking about, well, Derrick Henry went crazy against the Bills, which he did. But let's not act like Lamar Jackson didn't get his either. Like, let's not act like Lamar wasn't, cooking as well. I mean, he threw 3 touchdowns against Buffalo. Josh Allen, we held him to 10 points. So
yeah. Well, look, let's be clear. Yes, he's come down to the pack. He's still the MVP as of right now. But I ain't here to praise him. I'm here to praise the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm here to praise Chris Boswell, Patrick Queen, Peyton Wilson.
Well, I'll say I'm glad that you mentioned Boswell because he scored everything.
Hey man, hey,
he scored everything.
You know what else he didn't? You know what else he did? He made everything. He ain't missed nothing. Yeah. So
that's the conversation.
Hey. I'm saying it now, and he's better right now. I'm not talking about career. Right now, Chris Boswell is the best kicker in the NFL.
And I got to accept that. I thought about it. Mm-hmm. I said, well, Bucker's on IR.
Sure.
Tucker is, with the missed kicks, he's missed 6 or 7 this year.
Yeah.
And then you look at McPherson with Cincinnati. He missed a couple big ones. Aubrey's probably number 2 right now.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
He's number 2.
Maybe. I hadn't watched enough of him, but yeah, maybe.
Well, he hit a 64-yarder yesterday before Houston got that penalty, which the Cowboys accepted foolishly and decided. Well, let me not say foolishly because they wanted to get the touchdown.
The touchdown, right?
That penalty pushed them, closer to the goal line. They just didn't, get any points there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, prior to that, he hit a 64-yarder. So yeah, and I think he hit another 60-yarder earlier this year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, for sure. So, he definitely did. I don't remember who was against, but yeah, he definitely.
So he's number 2 for sure.
Yeah,
and number 3 is a toss-up.
Yeah,
it's a toss-up.
Yeah,
McPherson missed a couple of big ones Sunday night.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And hey, I get it, y'all. Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. This team is done. You keep all that playoff talk. It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
What are they? 4-7?
4-7.
4-7. Yeah, that 7 is like that's like the magic number for L's.
Yeah,
like you really got to win out.
And you really got to win out, and you got Pittsburgh twice.
You really got to win out. Now they're not injured. I will say for the Bengals' sake, nobody's on IR that's really like devastating the team. Like if you lose Burrow and Chase, you can cancel Christmas as winning games.
Uh-huh.
But they're going to have a chance to win some games down the stretch. So
yeah, they're going to lose one more game.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I think they are. I think they're not making the playoffs, but
yeah,
I'm just saying they're a team. Like the Chargers found out. They woke up and found out, like, oh snap, like we better stop playing with this team.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be like that the rest of the year, as long as those key core guys don't get hurt.
Yeah, I mean, sure. But again, it's the same conversation. They'll score points, but then they'll get
defense.
points. Get points for it on them. So
defense will give it up.
They're done. Who else is done in your mind, man?
The Jets. We
knew that.
Yeah.
Okay, but and I'll let you have that for segue purposes. But we knew the Jets was done a little while ago.
Yeah, let's discuss that. Let's discuss that. Breaking news earlier, General Manager Joe Douglas gets fired, and pretty much I think the coach is gone, the general manager's gone. I don't think Aaron Rodgers returns to this team. I think this is the sign of a full cleanse of the roster, the organization, the front office. Like it's tear down time in New York.
Didn't they just do this?
No. I mean, Saleh, but this is Saleh's fourth year. Joe Douglas was there about 5 years.
Well, is that enough time to say, okay, let's clean house? I mean, obviously based on results, sure, but
based on results, but no. I mean, the owner, I think, made one of the foolish decisions you could ever make is just get rid of the head coach 5 games into the year. They was what 2-3. They was 2-3. Like, could you let the season kind of play out?
Yeah,
here's what I think happened. Here's what and I'll let you go. Here's what I think happened. You fire the coach and you make the defensive coordinator the head coach. So now he's got more responsibilities in addition to trying to call the defense. Jets defense look trash, bro. Like since that moment, they just look trash.
Yeah.
Like how you get walked on by, in all respect to Anthony Richardson, he came back, had a couple weeks to clear his head, had a good game, but how you let the Indianapolis Colts dog walk you down the field, man, twice?
Hey, man,
that's enough to lose your job.
As the GM, sure, but look, Aaron, I saw something on Instagram. I want to say yesterday, and it was some Jets fans basically kirking off about Aaron Rodgers, like like basically saying what did we expect as Jets fans? Like what did we expect? Like he was basically going off saying like we would rather you just been some shit and got a draft pick as opposed to you bringing in Aaron Rodgers, kind of giving us hope, like believing that he was going to be able to turn this thing around, and he wasn't. He's old. He's not a GM as much as he wants to be a GM. Like, kind of in the vein of that what LeBron does with teams. He wants to be that guy, but
like what Brady did with Tampa Bay.
Exactly. That's a good example. But he's not that. I get you like Lazard. I get you like Devontae Adams, but you're bringing your old guys in and they not performing on the field. And no matter how good your chemistry is, y'all not getting it done on the field. And I say this, man, and I'm gonna push this narrative until everybody believes me and I'm right, or he goes to another team and starts balling and I'm wrong.
Yeah,
this nigga's washed. Aaron Rodgers is washed. It is over. It like, and I remember you was, and we've had this.
I was trying to give it some games. I was trying to give it a few games.
Well, more so, you were saying that he didn't have to be Aaron Rodgers. Like Green Bay Aaron Rodgers, and he ain't even. I don't know if he's that anymore. I mean, obviously he's not Green Bay Aaron Rodgers, but I don't know. Well, he is washed.
Yeah. So I think a few things can be true at the same time. Because right now, the Jets don't have coaches right now. Like, let's be honest here. The
He's supposed
Jets
to
are
be the
running on
coach.
autopilot, huh?
They bought this dude in because he was supposed to be able to balance out. You get that type of quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, and I'm not talking about like just young, talented in his prime. I'm talking about talented, has seen everything there is to see on a football field, inside the locker room, outside the locker room, those types of things. You brought this guy in thinking that he would be the coach on the field per se. Like he would be the guy that could corral players and get them to do things. Like he pushed the coach we forget about him, dude trying to hug him, and he pushed him.
Right.
Like this nigga's he's a problem. He's washed. I'm glad he got his last contract, but go on wrap this up, bro. Go on wrap his career up, man. Go and get your Hall of Fame. Go and wrap his career up, bro.
And here's the problem with that, because I mentioned the examples, the blueprint that the Jets was trying to follow, what Tampa did bringing in Tom Brady into an organization that was terrible for the most part until he got there. What the Broncos did when they brought Peyton in, and Peyton already had this reputation of being a coach while being a player on the field. Aaron Rodgers didn't have that. I mean, hell, I'll bring up another example, and maybe it's not comparable to the other two, but what the Rams did to get Stafford.
I think what Russell Wilson doing in Pittsburgh right this second. It's just cheaper. It's cheaper.
It's cheaper.
It's way cheaper. But it's that guy who has seen everything there is to see.
Right.
And it's still, and it's still got just enough skill, on the field to make things happen. But he's able to, corral somebody if somebody needs to be corralled. He can, you see him, moving and shifting, talking to players, moving and shaking, talking to players, that type of thing. Like he knows how to play the game of football, even though the skill, the talent that, a younger quarterback, and he's not in his prime no more. You know what I'm saying? It's those same. It's similar things. I think the only difference is the money. Like we didn't have to pay Russell Wilson.
And I think where the Jets messed up in trying to follow this blueprint is they didn't have stabilization when it came to coaches. Think about the examples I brought up. McVay, good coach. John Fox took a team to the Super Bowl years ago prior to that. Good coach. Tom Brady, Bruce Arians. We know Bruce Arians' resume. With the Jets, it was Robert Saleh and an organization that really, was a dysfunctional organization. And Woody coming in week 5 to pull the plug on the coach kind of solidified that. So those quarterbacks, those 3 quarterbacks, and including Russell that I've mentioned, they didn't come into those second opportunities with a lot of weight on their shoulders, because they knew, okay, coaching, we got that. GM, we got that. Like all the other stuff, that's not involved with the responsibilities of the quarterback, that was taken care of. With the Jets, Aaron Rodgers trying to be everything, and you can't be everything. And to try to make it work.
But he asked for the type of money to be everything.
Sure. He ain't that kind of guy that you can say, hey, you be the GM, you be the head coach on the field. Like he can't wear all that responsibility on his shoulders while trying to get this team winning. Like that's the problem. That's the problem the Jets ran into.
I don't disagree. What I'll say is that, hey nigga, you knew who the Jets was before you got here. So like it's not like he had a choice. He had choices.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like
definitely.
He could have went to a stable organization, but he thought, let me get this money. They gonna let me do what I want to do because I'm Aaron Rodgers and they the Jets.
Yep.
And
they need me more than I need them.
And look, he's acting that way. Like, hey, bring Slim over here. I don't like him. I know we don't know that he definitively got Saleh fired. We don't know that. But it feels that way. It damn sure feels that way. Look, I ain't gonna lie. It feel like he got Douglas fired. It feel that way. I don't know what to
It
be
feels
fact,
that way.
but it definitely
feels that
feels
way.
that way. It
Yeah.
feel that way. So it's like now, like, what are we doing? And I this is his second year on his contract. I don't remember what how many years. I don't remember how many years he has on the contract, but
nope.
I would, man. I hope that they can get out of this contract, man. Because you said you felt like
I think they can get out of it. I think they can get out of it, but they're going to be so cap strong.
Yeah.
That's going to be the issue, is that they cut him. They owe him all this money, and they may not be flexible with the cap moving forward. So if you were general manager and you were head coach and you looking at the situation, you like, damn, like, do I really want this job? Like, is this an attractable job right now?
No, it's not an attractable job, but there's plenty of offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators who need a shot just to, get their foot in the door. So, they'll have, I don't think they'll have an issue per se filling the slot of coach or GM for that matter. But they got some. I mean, I guess they've been some shit for longer than they got some longer days of being some shit.
13 seasons without a playoff berth. About to be 14 seasons without a playoff berth. Yep.
So, hey,
but the one thing that at least is looking right on their part is that they will be able to get the GM and the coach and potentially a new quarterback. And you forget Jordan Travis is on this roster. So, hoping he can get an opportunity, but with new people coming in, there's a good chance that Jordan Travis, they might look at him as still a backup, quarterback, or they might just, ship him someplace else. So the good part is that
I'm sorry, I was going to sit here and pretend like I knew. Who the fuck is Jordan Travis?
The cat that played at Florida State.
Oh, okay.
Last year.
Yeah. He was nice like that. He was nice. He was nice like that.
Yeah, remember he was on the team. Remember they was ranked number 1 last season, and then he got hurt, and then they went from being 1 to the committee taking them completely out of the college.
Okay, I do remember that.
Playoff.
I don't remember that name, Jordan Travis. Okay,
I
remember that about Florida State. Yes.
Yeah, I hope I got his name right, but I think that's his name, Jordan Travis. Okay. Forgive us, folks. We're not college football aficionados.
And don't forgive me. Just tell me who the fucking name is. I don't apologize. I don't fuck. Hey, I'm gonna tell you, bro. Because I'm gonna tell you, right? So, a couple of Saturdays ago, I'm getting ready. I'm cleaning my house. I'm getting ready to turn up later on that night. And I was like, you know what, man? Let me cut on some college football while I'm, getting in my zone, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Cut on some games. I think it was that game where Maryland put off a win against I want to say it was
wasn't too long ago, right?
It was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I want to say it was USC, but I don't really remember. I'm not gonna.
I think it was one of them West Coast teams.
I want to say it was USC where they put off a fourth quarter victory, and I was happy for them and that quarterback. I don't remember his name now. That quarterback for Maryland. But shout out to him. I was happy that it happened for him. But after that, I was like, man, this shit is not keeping my interest at all. I don't know what it is about me in college football where it's like if it's just on the TV, that's fine. But there are a few games where I watch a college football game and feel like I'm entertained, and I'm trying to figure out what my stigma is about that. But
it depends on the conference, though. Like with certain conferences, there's going to be like they're going to play defense. Like Big Ten. Big Ten is more offensive, driven. So you're gonna get a lot of those games where you're gonna be glued to the TV. Whereas, let's say SEC, there's a lot more defense played there. So yeah, you're gonna get a lot bored, by those, particular matchups.
That's the thing. I enjoy a decent defensive game. Like, what I'm saying? Like I'm okay. Like, I love watching AFC North football. I love watching Ravens Steelers. You know what I'm saying? Because I know, and I know there's rarely ever going to be anybody who scores 25 points in that game. I mean, hell, we barely scored 20 points in a lot of our games, and I'm thoroughly and I'm normally thoroughly entertained. And I'm sure some of the bias is because I like the Steelers and I don't like the Ravens, but like anybody, like we know that that's the best rivalry in the NFL, and it has been for I don't know how long, and we don't score points. So I don't know. So I don't know if it's because the lack of because points are being scored or because points aren't being scored. I don't know. One day we're gonna try to trade. One day we got to take this serious. And I know you're taking it a little more serious than I have this year. But I
don't feel like I am this year. It's in terms of the college football season, and maybe it's what it is. Saturdays, I'm just like into other stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just a lot of matchups to keep up with. Now, if a good one is on TV and I just so happen to catch it, cool. But I don't know a lot of the names. Like that. I think for me, that's where it's at. It's just that I can't identify with the names quite just yet. I think that's what it is for me. In addition to my Saturdays is just so, tied up into a lot of things. So
I don't know.
That's what it is. And I got his name right. Jordan Travis was the quarterback at Florida State.
Okay. Well, getting back to the Jets, they some shit. They're gonna be some shit for a long time. Sorry, Jets fans. I'm sorry that their front office decided to try to give y'all hope. But more than that, what does this leave like a Devontae Adams who just came over here? Like, where does that leave him? I don't remember how much the Raiders are paying of his contract as opposed to how much the Jets are going to pay of his contract.
Yeah.
But I thought about that. I thought about that when when I was thinking about this team is probably going to implode and all these things you're saying. But where does that leave like a 32, 33-year-old Devontae Adams? Like people like cats like Garrett Wilson. They he young, like whatever.
Yeah.
But
there are some players you can keep. Like there are a couple, maybe 3-4 players you can keep on a roster that's like potential
well, let's be clear.
stars.
Sauce Gardner ain't going nowhere. Quentin Williams ain't going nowhere.
Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall.
Yeah.
And maybe what's his name on the offensive line? Quentin Williams. Maybe Quentin Williams maybe might be a guy that they might keep, but everybody else is on the table to get moved, including Devontae Adams.
Yeah, but who's gonna pick up that? I mean, like I said, I don't know who. I would imagine that the Jets got some of that contract, and I just don't remember the contract. So let me not speak on it because I don't remember it. But I gotta assume that that's gonna be tough to move him.
Whoever is this close to a Super Bowl and maybe need that one receiver to take them over the top, that's the team that's going to make the move. Regardless of contract situation, money, whatever whatever players, money they got to move to make it happen, somebody, a contender's going to do it. Okay. I think that's what's going to end up happening there.
I mean, clearly we're not talking about this year, but next year
maybe for sure. Sauce is he's definitely struggling this year. It could be the coaching, like I said before.
It's the Jets though, man. It's the
coaching.
Jets. It's the Jets. It's the Jets. They that they thought this Aaron Rodgers project was gonna go better than it did. They damn sure thought Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams was gonna go better than it did. And I get it's only been 2 or 3, maybe 4 games, but but they thought this was going to go better than it's been. I still can't get over these projections of Breece Hall in the preseason. Like they thought Breece Hall was going to be a number 1 fantasy type running back. And I haven't played fantasy this year to know, but I can look at the stat line and guess that
he's so far away from it.
Yeah, yeah.
He's so far away, bro. Yeah. It's not even funny, man. Man,
do you think that? I'm sorry. I was going to switch copies just like you was, but do you think because you talked about it earlier? Do you think that Anthony Richardson benefited from being sat down after he said he was tired in a press conference?
No. Overall, no. To answer your question, and it could just be because he played the Jets on Sunday, which we really didn't really get to see it. But I think you really got to see it because I think throwing wise, I think there's still some work to be done as far as his throwing's concerned. But the fact that he won the game and then the style and the fashion that he won it, comeback victory, that's going to buy him, some good grace in that locker room, I think.
Why do you, remind me?
Yeah.
Well, actually, we never talked about it because I had that off week when he got sat down.
When he got sat down, right.
How did you process that, him being sat down? Like, what did you think about it? Like, did you and I'll tell you why I'm asking. So I read,
yep.
shout out to First and Penn.
Yep.
I briefly ran through an article where he kind of outlines that, y'all sat him down, y'all shouldn't have sat him down, and look at him now that he came back and he did what he did against the Jets and this that. And I'm like, and what the thoughts I left with was like, like, bruh, you went into a press conference and said I was tired. And look, you have every right to have been tired. You have every right.
Which, by the way, I didn't have a big issue with it. Just, me as a fan, just kind of looking at it like, okay, it was one play. It wasn't, hey, I'm tired, I'm not coming back in the rest of the game.
Yeah, but couldn't you just hand the ball off? And sure, I don't know what down the distance was, I don't know.
Sure, you could.
Couldn't you have just handed the ball off 2 or 3 times, or
Yeah,
quick
I think
throw.
It was overblown.
The
reaction I think was overblown.
Let me. Okay, I'll let you get your point off first, because I did ask you a question and cut you off.
Yeah, I thought that situation was a bit overblown. They tried to mask it and say, oh, he's sitting because of his performance, which when you look at the numbers aren't great. I mean, we're looking at 40-something% completion rates, with some of these games. So yes, you can say, yeah, he's not playing that well. But don't make it out to be that. Y'all got this reaction from fans, media, and people saying, oh, we tapped out of a play. You ain't supposed to do that. That's a cardinal sin. And, they trying to mask it. And look, Joe coming in, I know we had a couple of games prior to that situation where he came in. I think he had 7 touchdowns and 1 interception.
Yeah, I mean,
went 1-1. Right. He came in like midway through that game, I thought, right?
Oh, no, not even mid. Like, Anthony Richardson had 1 possession.
Okay, but my point is he didn't start that game.
No.
He didn't start that game. So yeah, he came in, he played well. But then when they decided, you know what, let's go with the old vet. Let's try to see if we can win some games. And shout out Mike Patton in the chat because he mentioned something about pretending that they were in a win now mode, which the Colts, I don't know what the Colts are doing. Like, I don't know what their thought process is or what their plan is, but when you draft a quarterback and you got him on that deal, like, you're supposed to be trying to load up other parts of the team. And I don't feel like the Colts are doing that. Like, they've got all this like money in this cap space, and it don't seem like their actions off season wise don't tell me they're in win now mode. So, which they should be. And I don't understand what they're doing. Like, I don't get it with that team.
I agree that I don't get what they're doing. I don't know what win now mode means for a mid team. You get what I'm saying? Like, they're a mid team. Like,
they haven't exhausted all their resources, really.
Yeah. Or maybe they're trying and nobody really fucking with them. But that team is mid. I can't imagine. When I hear win now, I think of a team that actually has a winning roster. And they got some good people on their teams. Like Franklin is a good linebacker. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor, and I know people are high on Michael Pittman. I'm not as high on Michael Pittman. Just looking at performance,
solid receiver.
Yeah, but like it's not giving number one receiver. Like he's a good solid receiver. Like you know what I'm saying. Like he's not ooh and eyeing nobody, and hasn't since he's been in the league. I'm not saying he's not deserving of none of his contract or none of that, because I know he recently got paid, but I'm just saying that he's just a mid wide receiver. Jonathan Taylor, maybe before the injury was one of them guys, but I don't know that he's kind of got back to that level yet before injury, or if he's even going to get there. So it's like they got good pieces, and then Anthony Richardson, who just hasn't, it's early. He just hasn't made it happen yet. We don't know if he is or if he ain't. So it's like I can't imagine the Colts being in a win now. I can imagine the Colts being in a let's see what happens mode. Like they're a mid team.
Are they sold on the court? Like, are they sold on the quarterback?
There's no way in hell they're sold. There's no way in hell they're sold on the quarterback, and they sat him down. It's no way in hell. It's
missed
no
some
way
games
in hell.
last year due to injury.
Sure. But I'm talking about this year specifically.
No, sure.
Last year, because he was injured majority of last year. He was
injured the majority of last year. But there's also been conversations about how he takes hits, how he slides. Like there's also those kinds of things that play into the evaluation part of figuring out whether this dude is your dude or not.
If you were asking me from 40,000 feet away to look at Anthony Richardson and give him an evaluation, he has performed below average so far, and that's considering. Yeah. And I get part of that evaluation has to do with health, but it is a part of that evaluation. He hasn't been available, and when he's been available outside of them first 5 or 6 games his rookie year, he's been below average.
Yeah,
it just is what it is. I'm not saying that they need to move on from him. It's still early, but he's been mid. I can't win now. No, like I said, I think they're in let's find out and see what we are mode right now. But, you know what I'm saying? Like they don't have a number one wide receiver. I believe that. I know they think Josh Downs might, but Josh Downs came out of nowhere.
I was gonna say Flacco kind of unlocked him, once Flacco got into that lineup.
Right. So it's like I'm not gonna sit here and Josh Downs is one of them now. Like I'm not gonna sit here and do that. Michael Pittman, they got a history past Reggie Wayne of just good wide receivers and really nothing more.
Yeah.
Excluding T.Y. Hilton.
Right. Yeah, and he was good for a number of years.
But So like he was him for before injuries. But outside of that, they haven't had a good wide receiver since the good old days, as you like to call it.
Yep. And since Andrew Luck, you forget they had Phillip Rivers for a year, they had Matt Ryan for a year, and then
a whole bunch of mid.
Just old quarterbacks, man. Trying to, I guess they figured then they was in win now mode at that point, but it just didn't work out.
So getting back to Anthony Richardson, I don't know what they were doing. I don't know what they're doing. Like you said, I don't know what they're doing over there, bro. Because what did you sit him down for?
Right.
What did you sit him down for? You sat him down, and now you let him sit down for 2 weeks. What happened?
Tapped out of a game. Like, come on.
Well, here's the thing. I definitely would have powered him for admitting that saying it to the press, and B, hey, bruh, I'm sorry, bruh. If your franchise quarterback, Lamar Jackson, and I don't remember who they were playing. I don't, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Went over to the bench.
I know what you're saying.
You don't want that from your friend. I'm sorry, bro. Like, we could say it's not a whole lot, and maybe it's not in the grand scheme of things. But it does.
Maybe communicating it. It's like you said, saying it to the press and communicating it the way
even on the field, Well, I'll say this. Because you can mask it. Like, if you just went out for a play and put Joe Flacco in for a play.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. Like, if nobody knows, then nobody knows. You type shit. Like,
that's what I'm saying. You can mask it.
For instance, we put Justin Fields in on a weighty down. If Russell Wilson was tired, we would have never known because nobody said nothing about nobody being tired. We just think it's the flow of the offense. The coach can come out and say, we thought Joe Flacco was good for this play, this package, whatever.
Yeah.
And, and nobody, everybody takes their opinion on that, but nobody would say Anthony Richardson was tired.
Yeah.
So for me, that looks bad. That's not a good thing for a young quarterback to do. It's not. Even if he was really tired. Like I said, call a running play. Call something quick where you ain't got to do no, I get it. I guess the past 3 plays he was running for his life.
Where's Jonathan Taylor at?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like
you haven't heard this guy's name all year.
Yeah,
I don't know about you, but I haven't heard Jonathan Taylor's name.
I remember
all
Jonathan.
Year.
Yeah, he was cooking us too before he got hurt that game. So that's why. But outside of that, no. Yeah, he got hurt that game. I think he came back, but he wasn't the same. And,
Right.
Yeah, but Anthony Richardson did look funny in the light, pulling himself out of a play in the middle of a football game. He just did. And that's what I'm gonna leave. That's what I'm leaving it with. He looked crazy. He looked crazy doing it. I don't agree with it. Like, and again, I'm not going to vilify him for it. He young. That's a lesson he needed to learn. But if I'm the coach and you came to me was like, "Hey, I'm tired. Go put Joe Flacco in." All right, now you sit down the rest of the game, then, bro, because we ain't want to. You know what I'm saying? Especially if Flacco went in there and started cooking. Hey, yeah, go. You tired? Go ahead and rest.
Right.
You're gonna learn not to say that to me, bro. Like, that's not. In my opinion, that is not good franchise quarterback attitude. It ain't.
Right. And if Steichen, and look, I don't know how good he is as a head coach at this point, but if you're gonna say Joe gives you the best chance to win, I remember their schedule was they played Minnesota, and he wasn't all great that game, going up against Brian Flores in the defense. And then this Buffalo, they played Buffalo the week after that. And I mean, I know they took like a 3-point lead with a few minutes to go in the half, but they got their doors blown off in that one. So you couldn't possibly think that going up against two, potential playoff, well, not potential, but going up against two teams, going to the playoffs, that Joe was going to be your best shot against those defenses. Yeah, bro, that just wasn't going to cut it, man. So, but like you said, man, this team is mid. I don't know what they're doing. They need to figure it out.
And they ain't.
Not this year, anyway.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
not this year.
They done too. I mean, I guess. Yeah, they're done.
Yeah.
They're done.
Because I know Houston had their little struggles over the last month, but they got right.
And let's be clear. I remember saying it in the beginning of the year, and I seen some comments that spoke against what I said preseason, that this is the Texans and everybody else is done, and it's not going to be no real competition. And I seen comments, "Oh, Maestro's sleeping on the AFC South." Is that hey?
Sound like a Mike Patton.
I don't remember. I don't think it was Mike Patton. If I'm being honest with you, I don't think it was Mike Patton.
Messing around with you, Mike.
Yeah, but I don't know who it was. But whoever it was.
Yeah.
Sometimes I be right about shit, man. Like, no, I'm just looking at rosters, bro. These dudes, the Colts, we don't know. We certainly not the Titans.
We just don't know. Well, we know the other two teams. Forget it.
Look. In the preseason, if you felt like Jacksonville had a chance in the preseason before games were played, I wouldn't hold that against you.
Because they were 8-3 before they had the slide last year.
Yeah, like I wouldn't hold that against you if you said Jacksonville got talent on their team, so I wouldn't have held that against you. But no. No.
And not that I'm wishing to call for somebody's job, but I am surprised that Doug Peterson is still employed
I'm
by
calling for
Jacksonville,
it. Get him out of here.
because they
He
took
said
an ass whooping on Sunday, bro.
he on there. He on there talking about, yeah, if it happens, it happens. What? They asked him, was he going? Is he concerned about his job?
I think he done there. I think
Yeah,
he, in his mind, mentally,
it's
I think
done.
he just want to get up out of there.
I don't think he. Yeah, I agree. I don't think he want to be there. I don't think he want to be there.
I'm trying to figure out what happened
You
between
realize
last
Trevor
year's
Lawrence was
team
some
and this
mid.
team.
You realize Trevor Lawrence was some mid.
Yeah.
Oh, you meant the whole team. I thought you were talking about what happened
Like
with
the whole
Peterson's
team,
attitude.
like the whole team. Like,
We gotta be honest, bruh. We gotta be honest. They were overachieving last year.
but the year before that, they made the playoffs with Doug Peterson. Remember, that was Peterson's first year there. They made the playoffs. I know they only won 9 games, but
overachievers.
But then they start off 8-3. They started off 8-3. It wasn't like they was 4-5, 4-6. They started off 8-3. And then it just fell apart from that point. And
overachievers. Tell me about their wide receiving room. Mid. Who their
like,
best pass rusher? Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's trash. I'm not saying he's trash.
He got a stud. He's a stud.
But he's
like, they got a dude. Like
stud.
They got a dude though.
Like top 10.
Top 10? Josh Allen, top 10? Yeah, I'd put him there. I mean, he'd be 10, but I'd put him there.
I remember we just did this.
That's a mystery.
We just did this a couple of weeks ago.
I know.
And
I don't want to
Josh Allen was not in the conversation because we was fighting about Hassan Reddick. And we had to put Hassan.
That's right.
If Hassan Reddick is there, Josh Allen is not.
Yeah, look, I don't want to go through that list again.
All right,
but
he is not.
It's a mystery. It's with that team. It's
that
mysterious.
Team is a mid too. Everybody in the AFC South outside of the Texans is a mid/trash.
We know about Tennessee already.
Yeah,
so
right.
We know about that.
But shout out to Levis. He got a house call the other day though. Will Levis, it's like a 98-yard joint to
Westbrook. To Westbrook. Yeah. I saw that. I saw that. Yeah.
He got one off. Shout out to him.
I saw that. I was gonna after we were talking Jets, I was gonna segue into the other New York team that made somewhat of news this week. Daniel Jones has played his last game as a New York Giant this past weekend. He's getting benched the rest of the year.
Oh, yeah.
Drew Lock, who people thought was going to be Drew Lock was the number 2 quarterback. So now, because of this benching, Drew Lock gets put to Drew Lock still stays at the number 2 quarterback. They're moving Tommy DeVito from number 3 to number 1.
Because he...
Listen, man. Look. This is what I tell all my Giants fans. Shout out to Dan and Nikki, because they did a show. They did a show last night.
So
and
sorry,
I wasn't trying to. Yeah, we love y'all. We love y'all over here. I'm not trying to start no trouble and whatnot, but this is the type of shows we do. These are the kinds of conversations that we have to have. And I've been having this conversation for quite some time now. This is clearly, like, we know Daniel Jones is gone, right? We know they're going to be in the market for a quarterback. We know the quarterbacks that are going to be coming out of college this coming off season: Cam Ward, Jalen Milroe, Shador. Those are the types of quarterbacks that the Giants historically don't draft. Or they don't make those types of quarterbacks the face of their franchise.
Hey, I tell you what, we'll give y'all a second rounder for Justin Fields.
So here's my theory. I think the ownership in New York is with the Giants. I think the ownership hopes that Tommy DeVito is their future. As crazy as that sounds,
that's crazy as hell.
I think deep down inside, they hope that Tommy DeVito is their future, just to avoid not drafting one of them 3 guys this coming off season.
Yeah, that's that's a yoga stretch, my nigga. That's crazy, bro. Nah, I can't see them.
Because think about it. Jacksonville's bad. We know they're not drafting a quarterback. They're probably going to have a top 3, top 4 pick. They're not drafting a quarterback. They just gave Trevor Lawrence, and we know he's mid, but they just paid the guy. They just gave the guy a bag, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Raiders are probably going to draft a quarterback.
Yeah.
Cleveland, maybe hit or miss. They should draft a quarterback. The Saints. And the Saints have won a couple games, so they probably, they're probably going to end up not. Cowboys, no. They just gave Dak a bag. Carolina, questionable. It just depends on, what they do there. You just never know with them.
The Jets.
Jets will be in the market for a quarterback. So you're talking about 3 of the worst teams potentially drafting a quarterback. The Giants have to be in that conversation to get a quarterback.
You would think so.
Right. So I honestly, again, this is just a theory. We know the history.
But it's some white quarterbacks. It's white quarterbacks that they could, much like they did Daniel Jones. It's white quarterbacks that they could upgrade. That they could,
They could. I mean,
i.e.,
they want to face that scrutiny again. They want to face that scrutiny again.
I mean, racism is racism. What the fuck?
Well, no. I'm not talking about the racism part. I'm talking about moving up to get Daniel Jones, knowing that dude was not on anybody's radar pre-draft.
Hey, they could do that for that quarterback in Georgia.
Sure. I'm just saying.
They could.
I think DeVito. I think they hope DeVito gonna win them some games down the stretch.
I'm sure DeVito may or may not win them. I mean, look, this team.
He won 3. He won 3 in a row last year.
The issue is that quarterback. So if you play a little bit more competent than Daniel Jones, you should win a few more games. I mean, hell, they might not be a bottom or a top 5 draft pick scenario. If he played competent quarterback, they might be, 8, 9, 10, somewhere in that area. If he plays competent quarterback, that defense is a decent defense. I don't know what Tyrone Tracy's injury situation is. I did skim past that he was injured, but if he can get back healthy, that dude.
And I tell you what, because I watched some of them games last year when he was starting, and he gets rid of the ball a lot faster than Daniel Jones does.
Yeah, because he's a competent thrower.
So it's not out of the realm that they're gonna win. They're gonna win some games. Like, I don't think they're gonna go 0-6 the rest of the way.
Games. I agree with that. I agree
Yeah.
with that. I definitely agree with that. I just don't think that they want him to be the future. I think they saw what they needed to see in him in them 3 games.
Okay.
He a backup.
We'll see. Well, hey, no, we agree.
Yeah, he's a backup.
I question whether he belongs in the NFL at times, though.
Well, I
might take it a step further.
Yeah, he won games, so I ain't.
Sure.
Yeah. And not only did he win games, he won games throwing the ball.
Sure.
So and I get that he plays in trash teams, but he won games throwing the ball. So I ain't gonna say he don't belong in the league. Yeah. But he's definitely a backup.
Yeah.
He's definitely a backup. But I wonder why they would put him above Drew Lock, though. That's interesting to me.
They paid Drew Lock $5 million so to be a backup. So that part is confusing too, where it's like, wait, why don't you?
What did you bring him for?
To me, the answer is simple, and I know it goes against my theory, but it's the marketing part of it. It's to make the games interesting. It's the whole, Tommy Cutlets, Italian boy from New Jersey.
Okay.
Because
the
fan base.
I can
Because
buy that. I can buy that.
He represents a lot of the fan base.
I can buy that.
So
I can buy that.
From a culture standpoint. So
I can absolutely buy that. I can buy that.
Yeah.
No argument here. I can buy
that. Gotta find a way to keep the fans watching.
Yeah.
So
let me go on and get to it, man, because
Yep.
I tried to preview it, and you're gonna be humble, but I want you to be mad. I want you to be upset.
Of course you do.
I would prefer you to be upset because 12 penalties. I want you to be upset because in a game where y'all actually had a pass rush going and Owe had like 4 sacks in the first half.
Our secondary
played a hell of a game.
Played well, man. Trey White, man, I'm impressed with what I saw from Trey White on Sunday.
Man, in a game where Justin Tucker missed 2 field goals, in a game where Derrick Henry fumbled. My gosh, when have we ever seen Derrick Henry? My point is
keep going down the list, bro. Keep going down the list. Isaiah Likely, not protecting the football. Justice Hill, not protecting the football.
Hey,
yeah. Well, it's self-inflicted stuff for sure.
For a team that feels like they're Super Bowl bound.
Yep. And I still feel that way, by the way.
Sure, and as you should.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is I'll be honest. This is a way better win for Pittsburgh than it is a bad loss for Baltimore, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I say that because in my opinion, this doesn't change y'all stock about what your trajectory is. This bad game doesn't make Lamar Jackson less of the MVP. Well, it does make him a little less. It just brings him closer to the pack, but he's still the MVP. If it's y'all are still second or third, depending on who you're talking to in the AFC, as far as who's going to win the AFC. It's Kansas City, it's Buffalo and Baltimore is interchangeable depending on who you talk to. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So nothing changes about this loss. I think for Pittsburgh, we're trying to prove that we belong in the conversation. Mm-hmm. So us beating Baltimore helps our case, saying, "Hey, we belong in the conversation."
The stock is ripped.
Exactly. I've watched. Sure. I watched Shannon Sharp say that Pittsburgh Steelers are the best team in the AFC right now. You know what I'm saying? I watched him say that on Instagram. I watched him say it, but you know what I'm saying? I watched him say that. Mm-hmm. So it's like that. This win was a better win for Pittsburgh than a bad loss for the Ravens, even though y'all got some soul searching to do.
I could see that because Pittsburgh played both New York teams. I don't think people were sort of buying into it at that point. I think there was another the Commanders. I know folks after beating the Commanders, there was still some folks still trying to downplay that win. I don't downplay it. The Commanders were 7-3 or 7-2.
Yeah.
I don't downplay that. I mean, I do have questions about the Commanders moving forward. We'll talk about that game. That was a pretty good game, Thursday night too. But
I can sum up the Commanders for you. You can wait if you want, but I can sum up the Commanders for you.
Okay. Let's wait. Let's get to this. So yes, I agree. The stock for Pittsburgh rose more than the stock took a downfall for the Ravens. The Ravens are still one of the best teams in the conference. They have coaching issues. And they have a kicker issue. I'll say that. I think those are the two problems. The defense, I think, while they did step up this week,
they woke up for this game. Let's be clear.
I was impressed. Yeah. Yeah.
I will go far to say is that they overachieved in this game because it was a division game. It was Pittsburgh. It was that type. I think that energy kind of permeated throughout the week.
But they played a different defense too, and I don't mean like they overhauled
You
the
talking about
defense or anything
scheme?
like
You
that.
mean scheme?
Scheme. They took a different approach in terms of the scheme.
I
Kyle
overheard
Hamilton,
somebody saying that Dan Pease was kind of, I guess, advising Zach Orr this week or this past week.
Well, he's been advising since they brought him back 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Okay.
Because I've been saying, what the hell you bring DPs in for? Like it hasn't really helped in terms of the defense. But I will say the change that they made to me was, and I talked about it with you and Yusuf last week, was that they let Kyle Hamilton, they let the safeties roam the back, roam in the field. They didn't in the box, right? Washington, they let Washington play free safety. Trey White, got some burn this week. Trey White did a great job, I thought, on a couple of moon balls. It was the moment they put Stevens on Pickens. I'm like, what the hell did y'all decide to go do that for? It was that moment where it was like, all right, yeah, I don't. And look, I understand Pittsburgh can force you to match up to whoever you don't want to match up at times, but that should have been the moment where it was like, all right, we like, because I said it. You asked the question last week, who do you put on Pickens? I said, you either put the vet Humphrey on there or you let the young kid Wiggins, get some burn. I did not mention Brandon Stevens at all.
Yeah.
and you saw why. So yeah, defensively, I was impressed. With what they came out to. They was able to make that adjustment scheme wise. But offensively, this was just a bad game all around offensively, coaching, special teams. Tucker, I don't know what's wrong with this dude, bro. Like, I don't know if this dude got family problems at home. I don't know what's going on with this cat, man.
Well, what I'll say, if I was a Ravens fan watching, Derrick Henry got 13 carries.
That's coaching.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I'm just saying he got 13
that's
carries.
That's coaching.
And
honestly too, the criticism is warranted, although you mentioned 12 penalties. Some of them penalties was on the offensive line when we was trying to get that run game going, and they kept calling, an eligible man downfield. They kept calling, holding. We had a lot of that stuff. We had some great plays get negated by penalties. So I don't think we were trying to avoid the run game, but I think because of the fumble, the penalties,
because be clear,
plays.
Yeah, because be clear about something specific. He fumbled that next series. You didn't see him.
Yeah.
In the fourth quarter, I don't think he got a carry in the fourth quarter.
But we had 2 drives. The first drive was the Justice Hill fumble. I'll call it a fumble.
I agree.
And then the second drive was our touchdown drive. Yeah. Y'all took up some clock in that fourth quarter.
Yeah,
so,
like we wanted to.
So So I don't.
But he wasn't on the field. He wasn't on the field. And
put a 2-point conversion. I got a big problem with that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Exactly.
Big
I'm sorry. And I'm sorry. I get it that short. 2 drives. I didn't see him on the field at all. And you needed to throw the. You felt maybe you needed to throw the ball, but
I think they felt like they needed to. I felt like they needed to throw.
I feel like that was bad coach. That was bad coaching. You didn't need to throw. You didn't need to throw. You could have still ran a balanced offense in both of those series, and been right there. Obviously, we saw because they got there, and we also know that he's a home run hitter. We know that he's a home run hitter.
Right. So he busted one. He busted one earlier in the game.
Right.
Thought we could get him going. Yep.
So that don't really register with me if I'm a Ravens fan watching the game, for my wanting the Ravens to win. Like that's just a mistake. And salute.
A lot of mistakes too, man. Let me shout out Marlon Humphrey too, because he made a play, he got an interception, and I saw you tweet about your man's at least trying to jump up for the ball.
But be clear, Russell Wilson shouldn't have threw it.
Yeah,
he shouldn't have threw it.
Got you.
But at least give me some effort, bro.
Like, I got you. I agree with you there. Like he just was flat-footed. I was like,
you could have, yeah. But more than that, Russell Wilson could have just threw it out of bounds, and we would have got 3 points.
Absolutely, absolutely. But I've talked about Marlon Humphrey being that dude where when the defense was giving up stuff, he was coming through with that one major play to kind of shift the game around, like he did against the Bengals 2 times already. And I thought that moment when he got that interception, that was going to be the play that changed the game for us. And the next play was the Justice Hill fumble.
So break down the 2-point conversion play for me, bro. Like in your.
Honestly, I don't want to.
but the listeners need to know. The listeners need to see what you saw.
Well. Let me say this. My TV froze actually. Just as that play was about to commence, my TV froze, and I was trying to get it out of. So sometimes when the channel freezes, I go up one channel and I come back to it to unfreeze it.
Hey, don't give that tip out no more, bro. Just trust me on this. Don't give that tip out no more.
Sure.
All right.
Sure. Went back to the channel. The play was already done. I see Lamar walking off the field. It's like, all right. Again, the biggest problem for me is Derrick Henry not being on the field there. That's the biggest problem for me. That's coaching. That's coaching. The 12 penalties, that's coaching. Not being able to match what Pittsburgh is matching as far as intangibles, and the intangibles that I'm talking about, getting your hands up, deflecting passes. Lamar had a bunch of passes knocked down because of deflections. Doing that, not being able to counteract with that. Fighting for the ball. Pittsburgh fought for the ball. Isaiah Likely, not being able to instill in the guys, you got to protect the ball when you play against this team because they're going to come after the ball.
We punch. Right. Zay Flowers got punched in the face one play.
That's coaching, yeah. Oh, and he had a ball hit himself in the face mask when he was wide open.
Wide open. Mm-hmm.
We love it.
We love it. Hey, man. We love it, man.
Oh, man.
We love it, man. And look, Zay Flowers is a good wide receiver, man. He is. It's interesting for y'all. Y'all really got to decide. I mean, and it's early for Zay Flowers, so I ain't gonna say decide, but is he a number 1 wide receiver for real?
I will say this: he's our number 1. But if and if he puts him elsewhere on another roster, I don't think he's a number 1.
Y'all love that. Y'all love that number 1 wide receiver by committee thing. Y'all love that. Baltimore Ravens.
By committee?
I mean, it would seem that
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I think it's a bad.
By committee is a bad choice of words.
Yeah.
Y'all love he's our number 1 wide receiver thing. Y'all love that.
And most teams in the league kind of have that though.
You think so?
Like the Colts. We just talked about the Colts.
The Colts.
Michael Pittman a number 1, or is he their number 1?
They're number 1 for sure.
Right.
Okay, right. But I think I think I disagree with you.
Okay.
Let's I'll try to do this as fast as possible.
All right.
Pittsburgh has a number 1.
Pickens
is a number 1 wide receiver.
I haven't seen that yet. I haven't seen that.
George Pickens is a top. Let's say he's at least a top 10 wide receiver right now.
I haven't, but you're talking about just in terms of yards and stuff?
No, I'm talking about an impact and everything. He's definitely the best contested catch wide receiver in the game. He's the best as far as radius, as far as catch radius. He has the best catch radius in the game. He has one of the best hands. I ain't gonna say he's the best hands in the league, but he's certainly up there with best hands in the league.
Maybe because of the quarterback carousel. Maybe.
Yeah, sure. And I will give that to you for not knowing that he's not a top 10 wide receiver in the league. But George Pickens is a top 10 wide receiver in the league right now.
Okay, I mean, cool, but we're
and it's not like his stats are super high, and it's not like his stats are that good.
And I think just to kind of stick to the bubble of the question, is he a number one receiver no matter where he plays at? I don't know yet, man. I don't know that yet, man.
I'm just telling you,
I don't know that. I'll say this because we've seen guys like DeAndre Hopkins, Andre Johnson. We've seen them dudes produce when the quarterback is mid, like when they play with multiple mid quarterbacks.
Would you consider Mason Rudolph mid?
A mid quarterback? Yeah, but
yes, clearly, right?
Right, but I'm talking about them dudes was putting up 1,000-yard seasons with the mid quarterbacks. George Pickens has yet to do that.
Sure, but that's sure. Mm-hmm. But Kenny Pickett wasn't mid. Kenny Pickett was bad. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Okay.
So, but you saw the second they put a mid quarterback in Mason Rudolph, the numbers got different.
Okay.
Similar situation with Russell Wilson. Them numbers got different. I'll even say this. Holding calls are holding calls, but we're talking about 3 extra touchdowns and maybe 175 extra yards if Broderick Jones wasn't holding like he was when Justin Fields was the quarterback.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So I won't count that because holding calls count.
Yeah, you can't. It's holding calls. Holding calls.
Yeah, they count. But,
on both sides, yeah.
But let's be clear. If you watch George Pickens play football, that Bama is a top 10, number one. Wherever he goes, he's going to be a number one.
Body type, radius, hands, arm, yeah, he's got it. Like the tools and the skit, he's got it. I just need to see it. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know what you're not seeing though.
I just need to.
He did it to y'all last year.
No, I get it. One game, couple of games, cool. I just need to see the consistency. When I think about number ones, Jamar Chase, obviously. Yeah. Justin Jefferson, obviously.
But you're talking about the best in the league. I'm just talking about a number one wide receiver. You ain't got to be the top 10. Top 10 in the league to be a number one receiver.
Sure.
Like Nico Collins, you don't feel like he a number one receiver? And obviously he's not right now with Stephon Diggs. I'm just saying.
Right.
You don't think Nico Collins is a number one receiver?
He proved it last year to me. Now
Garrett Wilson is the number one wide receiver everywhere he goes.
Yes.
Again, and we could just go down
1,000-yard seasons with mid quarterback play.
CD, we could just go down the list. Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, Justin Jefferson, George Pickens. And this is not in no order. Tyreek Hill, Amari Cooper in Buffalo, St. Brown in Detroit. I'm
number one.
I'm just talking I'm just talking about number one wide receivers.
Easiest way to go is by division. So
okay, let's do that.
Start with St. Brown. You started with St. Brown, so let's do that division. Keenan Allen, DJ Moore.
No.
DJ Moore number one.
No.
Really?
I don't think so.
Really? What makes you think he's not?
I'm just looking at his play. I'm just looking at his play.
Oh my God!
But maybe you talk you can have the argument, and we won't stretch the conversation. But you can have the argument about playing with mid quarterbacks and this, that, and the third. Tell me about the season, not the game or the 2 games. Tell me about the season where DJ Moore went crazy. I don't think DJ Moore's had a better season than George Pickens in his career yet.
Oh, I think he has.
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
I'm pretty confident in saying DJ Moore has had that. He's had that season.
But tell me about it.
Oh, it was with Carolina.
Sure.
And you know the quarterbacks they've had since Cam Newton left.
Yeah.
It's he's
but it was more so because they had
but it's
nobody else
not
to
memorable
throw to,
because the team isn't
and they
good,
had,
obviously.
and because he had nobody else to throw to.
Right.
Like on that team, there was nobody else to throw to.
Right, but then he goes to Chicago, and he's clearly the number one there, right? He's proven it in two places.
I think he's their number one in Chicago.
He's proven it both places, though.
No. Like, I'm talking about a solidified number one receiver wherever he goes. I don't know that he's a
right.
I don't know that DJ. Okay, I will concede just for the sake of this argument that DJ Moore is a number one receiver anywhere he goes, even though I'm not 100% sold. But sure.
Okay.
DJ Moore and Justin Jefferson in the North, and Amon Brown. So that's 3 in the NFC North.
Mm-hmm.
That anywhere they go,
right.
Number one wide receiver.
Now you said by committee. You said wide receiver by committee. I think Green Bay has that situation going.
Right. I don't think they have a number one on that team.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's why I didn't mention them.
Yep. But I'm saying bring back the term by committee.
No.
I think Green Bay has that situation going with their
but we agreed that committee wasn't the right wordage. So we talking about
right. No, I'm just making a point.
Okay.
I'm just making a point.
All right, yeah. We're talking about number one receivers anywhere they go. Yep. I think more teams have a number one receiver that can go anywhere and be the number one receiver than teams don't have that.
Okay.
So far in the NFC North, we got 3 wide receivers that are number ones anywhere they go.
Okay.
In the NFC East,
AJ Brown, we know that.
CeeDee
Lamb, Malik Neighbors.
No, it's just too early.
Sure,
but potential. We're not going to count them.
Right.
It was just what we've seen so far.
Potential. But we
we'll
won't
leave
count
them all for now.
McLaurin, number one.
Anywhere.
I'm
gonna say no.
You gonna say no? Okay.
I'm gonna say no.
Debatable.
I'm gonna say no.
I'll give you that.
I'm gonna say no. Okay, so 2 in the East, and I hope you got it. You better at remembering shit than me. But so far, out of 8 teams, we got
5. We got 5. Yep.
So NFC
in the
South. Mike Evans is the number one receiver anywhere he goes.
Yep. Drake London is not.
No. Chris Olave.
No. None of them guys on the Saints are.
Got you. And nobody on the Panthers. Okay.
No.
Okay.
Nope.
So out of 12 teams, we got 6.
6. We got 6.
And I'm sorry. Let me backtrack.
Yep.
Devontae Smith wouldn't be a number one anywhere he went.
That's a good question though. That's a very good question. Because he may be the best number 2 in the league.
Right.
So
and the Eagles was just smart enough to pay him.
Yeah, right. Which normally teams wouldn't do, by the way.
Right.
They are the ones that stepped out of the box to do it.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good question, bro. He's good. He's
I'm gonna say I say yes.
You're gonna say yes just to get it over the 50%? I'll give it to you. Go ahead.
Okay. I say yes. I do though.
Go ahead.
Okay,
go
NFC West.
Puka Nacua, I think is
Puka Nacua is a number one receiver anywhere he goes to you. Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Cooper Kupp, I think, is also, which is crazy to say, but you don't think so?
Today's Cooper Kupp, I'm not so sure.
Today's Cooper Kupp. Okay, so you just want to put
I'm gonna say no.
Puka in there. Okay.
You said Puka. I didn't necessarily say Puka.
So you're saying no overall? You saying
I think
Rams?
Puka. I say no.
You say no? Okay.
I say
okay.
No. I say San Fran Brandon Ayuk is the number one wide receiver.
Okay.
I say in
Marvin
Seattle,
Harrison Sr.
It's
kind of
early.
in a Malik Neighbors conversation.
Right. It's early, but I want to say yes, but I'm gonna say
potential, but
it's
nah.
But I'll be clear. I want to say yes, but I'm gonna say no. And Metcalf. It's Metcalf. I'm gonna say no.
Okay, but they number 2 is good.
Yeah.
Smith and Jingba
And
Smith.
Jigba, who's looking like the number 1 nowadays, but I think
Right,
Metcalf is injured
right.
too, though.
Uh-huh.
Metcalf is injured, I think.
Okay.
Okay. I know we got. I don't want to. AFC.
All right.
AFC.
So in the East, we said Amari Cooper, we said
Yep.
Tyreek Hill, we
Yep.
said Garrett Wilson.
Yep.
Nobody on the Patriots is a number 1.
Nobody on the Patriots is number 1. Yep.
Okay, so that's 3 out of 4. In the North, so you got George Pickens.
Yep.
I personally have yet to see it, but whatever.
Say no. If you say no, say no.
Yeah, I don't see it with him.
Jamar Chase for sure.
Yeah, Jamar Chase for sure.
T. Higgins?
Nobody on Cleveland.
Well, hold on. T. Higgins though.
Yeah, in that Devontae Smith conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. He's a number 1 anywhere else he goes.
Yeah, because when Chase was out for a few games last year, he was cooking.
Yeah, he's a number 1 wherever
I mean,
he goes.
he had no choice but to, but
yeah, he's a number 1 anywhere he goes. Yep.
And Zay Flowers he's our number 1.
I say no.
He's not a number 1.
He's not a number 1. And nobody in Cleveland. You said the South.
Michael Pittman, no.
No.
Nobody on Jacksonville.
No.
No. Houston, yes. I think
Stephon Diggs is number 1 anywhere he goes.
Yep. What's the other team? Oh, Titans. No.
No.
And then in the West, you got DeAndre Hopkins, who's the number 1. You got who else you got? Who's on the Broncos? Cortland Sutton.
Sutton. No, he's their number 1.
Raiders. No. They got Jacoby Myers. No.
Chargers.
No. That's
I ain't gonna lie. I lost count.
That's a little up to half of the league.
Yeah, I'm about to say it's about half.
That's about up to half the league. So
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think
so. It's half. So it's half and half.
Most teams I think got
teams got a number 1.
Got their version of their number 1.
No, I think most teams. Okay, right. Most teams have their number 1 because we just acknowledged that at least 2 teams, the Eagles and the Texans, 3 teams have number 2 that are number 1s.
Yeah.
And then if you're talking about Marvin Harrison and Malik Neighbors, and obviously we said potential.
Right.
But it ain't nothing that's about to that's going to convince me that Marvin Harrison ain't about to be a number 1.
Like, for sure.
Going anywhere.
For sure. Malik Neighbors too. I feel the same way about him.
So I feel like there's more number 1 wide receivers than there aren't. And I think, like I said, the Eagles paid their guy. And T. Higgins is on a franchise contract, but he probably shouldn't be playing for the Colts or, a team like that.
Think about some of the, like, you go back 20 years. I'm not trying to like open a Pandora's box here, but if you think about the past 20 Super Bowl winners, you look at some of their receiving cores on some of them teams, you wouldn't call some of them guys like number 1s anywhere they go. Like you look at that first Giants Super Bowl. Amani Toomer ain't a number 1.
Yeah.
Plexico.
Plaxico's a number 1 though.
You think Plexico's a number 1? Okay. All right.
Yeah, we ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that. That's crazy. He's definitely a number 1.
Okay.
Especially in that day, he was the number 1 wherever he went.
Okay. All right. You would know. Like I just think.
I think more teams have number 1s that are interchangeable than they don't.
All right.
And I hope maybe I know nobody was keeping score for real, but
we know the Chiefs won a bowl without a number 1.
Without a number 1 for sure.
Yeah, we know that for sure.
Well, yeah, and obviously that's the anomaly because Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes, and and that scheme is that scheme more than Patrick Mahomes being Patrick Mahomes.
Eagles won a bowl without a number 1, right? Who was on that team?
16
and 17.
17, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't remember who the wide receiver was. Who's the quarter? Carson. I mean, the Carson Wentz.
Foles.
Foles. Thank you.
Foles. Yeah. Who was a number one that year?
Fuck if I know. Shit, I don't. Who was their running back? I don't remember nothing about that team right now. I'm just glad they beat the Patriots.
Oh, right. And I just remember them playing Dreams and Nightmares coming out the tunnel.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, there's some teams that won.
Sure, you can certainly win without a number one wide
Patriots.
receiver. Never had it outside of Randy.
And he ain't win one.
Yeah, exactly. So we know that you can win without him, but most teams got number one wide receivers.
Yeah, for sure.
Wide receivers is like that. That's probably that's like the commodity position. Like, who don't want to be a wide receiver today? Like, who don't want to play that position?
Right.
Yeah.
Especially with the money you're getting there.
Yeah, with the money you get and the way Odell Beckham sized it up back in 13 with the catch.
13, 14.
Yeah, with that catch. Like, I never forget it after that catch. And I literally, from that point on, I would be at, like high school practices because Stacy kids, play football. And you would just sit there and watch kids practice one-handed catches. Like, I pull one to the side like, hey, bro, you gotta learn how to catch with two. You gotta learn how to catch with two hands before you catch with one.
Yeah,
he
right.
was like, nah, I'm trying. He basically called and said, "Get out my face, old nigga. I'm trying to turn up."
That's impact, man.
Yeah,
that is impact, bro.
But that's definitely the best position to play in football right now. Like, everybody wants to play wide receiver nowadays.
Yeah. What's your thoughts about the Commanders?
Oh, so look, man. And I said it. I kind of alluded to it before they played the Steelers. Before they played the Steelers, they hadn't played nobody yet.
Mm-hmm.
And when they played somebody, they lost. The Ravens. And then so for me, celebrate. You got a franchise quarterback. You got a decent team around you, but they not ready for prime time yet.
Yeah, no. They're definitely ahead of schedule.
Yeah, they're just ahead of schedule, right?
They definitely had a schedule, but just kind of looking at their schedule here, they can still get to 10 wins. 10 is.
I think they'll get to 10 wins.
Yeah. I mean, when you got the Cowboys twice,
sweeping the Cowboys
on this scout. You got the Titans coming up. You can win that one. The Saints,
they're winning that one.
Yeah, the Saints in New Orleans, you could win that one. I know the Saints have been, kind of on a roll since they fired the coach, but that's a winnable game if you're.
They've lost four so far, right?
They've lost 4, yeah.
Okay.
They've lost 4, so they can. Yeah, they got the Eagles again and Atlanta. And Atlanta, I don't know. I feel about Atlanta right now.
I think they'll lose to the Eagles again. I think the Eagles sweep them. I think they'll give away one of those games between the Saints and the Falcons. So, so you're talking about 11 and 6, like
11. Yeah.
I see 11 and 6, and which, by the way, amazing record for a rookie quarterback, first year, all those things.
Absolutely.
I just think that when it's time for playoffs, you're gonna have to see them Eagles again. You gonna have to see Detroit. You gonna have, you know what I'm saying? You gonna have to,
maybe not in the first round. Maybe not in the first round.
Yeah. Because I mean, they'll get the wild card.
Right. If you draw the Falcons, I give them a chance against the Falcons.
I say 100%. 100%.
If you draw the Cardinals, I'll give them a chance against the Cardinals.
I mean, you really think the Cardinals going to get the division?
I
know that's where they at right now.
It's murky. It's murky right now. All the teams are 5-5 except for the Cardinals, which are 6-4. Shout out Geno Smith for that comeback win against the 49ers, because now the Niners are last in the division.
Right.
Seattle is 3, and I think the Rams are number 2 with their win this weekend. So, yeah, the Cardinals aren't going to run away with it. But that's one of, that's one of my surprise teams. At the halfway point is the Cardinals and what they've been able to do.
Sure.
So,
but see, that's the thing. I like the Commanders against the Cardinals, but I don't like the Cardinals against. I mean, I don't like the Commanders against the Rams.
I can see that, and honestly, I wouldn't like them against San Francisco if they somehow
you're right,
got it together. Yeah,
I agree with that too.
Yeah, I wouldn't like them. Seattle, I'll give them a chance against Seattle.
I low key, I think they smoke Seattle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. I can see that for sure. So yeah, good win by the Eagles on Thursday. No, I mean nothing really else to go there. I mean the Eagles are the Eagles. They put
Saquon Barkley.
Yep. Putting them in prime position. I was thinking about this, and Detroit is obviously number one in the conference right now. But right now, we're looking at a potential Eagles Lions NFC Championship.
Yeah, I agree.
I know. There's some teams that might have something to say about it. We'll see.
Yeah, but who really? Like, let's keep it a buck. Let's put a name on bullets. Who got something to say about the Eagles in Detroit right now?
I don't think the Commanders do.
Neither do I.
I don't. Not right now. Right now, no.
Not this season.
You said not this season.
Not this season. Okay. And again, respect to the Commanders. They're going to be a good team if they don't fuck this up like they've done in the past. But they right now they are not. Right now it's the Eagles and it's Detroit. Okay. We talking. It's November. Like all
division. Sure, the division matchups. Sometimes anything goes with division matchups. Sometimes, so that's why I'll slightly give them a shot. I mean,
well, to beat them in the regular season, sure, but I'm talking about this is like for me. Again, this is November. This is Thanksgiving in a couple of weeks.
The cream rises to the top.
Who real and who fake? And
for sure.
It's straight like that. In the NFC, I don't believe nobody in the NFC, nobody but Detroit and Philadelphia.
So if the 49ers get their act together, just in time.
Then I would put them there. But that's based on pedigree. But right now,
that's all it would be on.
Yeah,
it'd be based on pedigree.
That's it.
Minnesota,
no,
they 8-2, but the quarterback is, I think, what gets people like, because defensively, I think they can good. Defensively, I think they could give it to anybody. On that defense for Minnesota.
Their first loss was 34-7?
Their first loss was
34-7 to the Texans?
Was that in reverse? Detroit. Detroit. They lost to Detroit.
I got that in reverse. The Vikings beat the Texans 34-7.
The Vikings beat the Texans.
Yeah, I had that in reverse. My fault.
Yes, they beat the Texans. They lost to Detroit in that first game.
Which, by the way, is a game you could not.
You couldn't lose that. Now they get them a second time. We'll see what happens. But you couldn't lose that game if you wanted, to hold on to first place. And I forget the other game they lost. It wasn't to a great opponent per se. But they're taking advantage of the schedule. I think is really all I can say with Minnesota.
Right. And God bless you for taking good, much like the Commanders. They're taking advantage of their schedule. You should do that. Nobody's shitting on them for winning games they're supposed to win. I'm just saying that in the grand scheme of things, when you watch them play, they not fucking with Detroit and they not fucking with Philly.
So one more team I'll mention, Green Bay.
No.
Because I think they're going to be right there in the playoff.
Josh. I should say Josh. The quarterback.
Jordan Love. You're
looking a little right now.
It's a bad time. That's the team people preseason talked about a potential Super Bowl.
I mean, participant. I felt like you was low key saying it earlier in the year, but I don't.
I had the Packers winning the NFC North.
Yeah, I don't believe.
I did. I
don't believe them.
But they're clearly not Detroit. They shown that in the first matchup. So I got to give Detroit that. But the division is, minus Chicago, the division is, going to be well represented in these playoffs.
Yeah,
forbidding something doesn't happen, down the stretch here.
I saw the toughest remaining schedules on Twitter this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bears have the toughest schedule remaining.
I talked about that. Yep.
Yeah.
I talked about that. Yeah. Tough way to lose on Sunday.
But I know another interesting team who we just talked about, the 49ers have the 5th toughest schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So
they got to play Detroit. They got to play Buffalo. Yeah, they got some tough games coming up. The division games, they've already lost 3 division games. They've only won 1.
Yeah.
So they still got to see Arizona again. They still got to see the Rams again. So yeah, it's not gonna get easy for them. And they didn't have a bunch of guys on Sunday. Like Kittle wasn't in the game on Sunday, so I know that makes a big difference there. But they did get McCaffrey back, and slowly but surely he's trying to get himself together, in game shape. So.
And that'll help. But again, right now, you got to beat Green Bay. You got to beat Seattle. You don't necessarily have to beat Buffalo.
That's right, Green Bay. That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
But you kind of have to. You don't have to beat Buffalo, but you kind of have to beat Buffalo. If that makes any sense. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So even they got Miami later on in the year.
Miami,
And it's like you don't have to beat them, but you kind of have to beat them.
That's a team that could get on a hot streak right now.
Right.
Yeah.
So honestly, the NFC is Philly and Detroit. Everybody else is frauds, and I mean that respectfully.
Just fast forward. Just forget the first 2 rounds. Let's just go right to conference championship weekend.
Yeah,
Let's just go right there.
Yeah, I don't believe nobody else. I don't. I would love for the sake of parity. I'd love to be wrong, but I don't believe nobody else.
So let's transition into this fight.
Oh shit! I forgot we had to talk about that fight.
Well, let's get into that, man. So I'll say this because I actually have a lot more to say. I have a lot more to say about what didn't happen in the fight versus what happened in the fight.
They didn't sew this motherfucker's pants up, the back of his pants up.
Pause. I'm not even gonna talk about that. I'm not talking about that. I'm sorry. Netflix. This is and I have a conspiracy theory about this. So throughout the pre-game stuff, and by the way, that female fight, that was a pretty good fight. I didn't watch the whole thing.
Serrano and
I forget the other one name, but that was a good fight. I didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing.
I saw highlights, bro. When I tell you I was working Friday, by the time I sat down.
Oh yeah, you was on call.
Yeah, by the time I sat down, bro, I
forgot about that.
I was gone, dog.
Yeah. So. But they got issues. Netflix has some issues with their buffering, and
they never had. Excuse me, I'm sorry. They never had that traffic, bro.
Right. When it's on a live feed like that,
they never
had that before. So, interestingly enough, the timeline was, I think people got more entertained by people complaining about the stream than the actual fight itself. But just to kind of fast forward here, Netflix has 2 NFL games that they're airing on Christmas. And so people believe that this could be a problem again. And oh, by the way, they just announced Beyonce is going to be performing halftime during the Ravens-Texans game. So now there's going to be even more pressure on Netflix to come up with a very respectable, but almost got to be perfect to the T kind of a stream, right? So the fight comes on, and all of a sudden the picture is just perfect clear once the fight comes on. And I'm sitting back to myself, and I'm watching the fight, and I'm like, but the conspiracy theorist in me tells me that they buffer this thing on purpose. Like at certain moments throughout that broadcast, they buffer that thing on purpose until the actual main event. And then once it starts, they don't buffer it no more. Like I feel like somebody was behind the controls there doing that because it was crystal clear.
What do you think they had the game from doing it though?
Entertainment, conversation.
How
Getting
do you
people
think
to
they
talk about it.
monetize? I don't know if they monetize from that though.
I don't know how they would. But again, it was just so ironic that all the pre-talk during like the undercards, Rosie Perez talking and Cedric the Entertainer talking and all that stuff. The picture was just fuzzy, but then when the fight started, that thing was just crystal clear throughout the whole 8 rounds. It just was a mystery that the buffer just kind of went away completely. So, maybe I'm crazy, but it felt to me like they just maybe I might be crazy, but how the hell that thing just buffered throughout the whole like 3-4 hours before the main event, and then the main event is just crystal clear. Like,
yeah, I mean, sure, your thoughts are your thoughts. I just think you're crazy because I can't see how they would monetize. I don't see how. I mean, I think that maybe if you see enough people on Netflix, I mean on Twitter or social media complaining about it, maybe you can get a couple more people to start tuning in to be a part of the conversation. Maybe that's a way to monetize. But I can't fathom that they would monetize by fucking the stream up intentionally. I just can't. I don't think that would be a good enough reason to fuck it up intentionally to have that much bad. And I know they say any press is good press or good press is any press, however I'm saying it, but I think that's just not a good. Netflix is Netflix. You know what I'm saying? They don't need bad press. Like they Netflix. Ain't nobody about to stop fucking with Netflix is like their top tier is like $25-$30 now or some shit I hear.
Yeah, they've lost some money, but I think that's everybody. And I'm talking post pandemic.
Yeah,
they've lost some, but that's everybody. So
like Netflix is still going to be Netflix,
of course.
I mean, like
the regular programming, like
I'm sure they're still and this is just me shooting in the dark guessing. If they're not number one, they're number 2 to maybe Max. But as far as streaming,
Amazon Prime,
maybe. But I would fathom. And again, it's me shooting in the dark. Don't really know that maybe Max is number 1, but Netflix being the number 1 streaming platform. I mean,
that's interesting.
And YouTube, nobody's beating YouTube. Let's be clear, nobody's beating YouTube. Right. So 2 or 3, like Netflix is still Netflix. Yeah,
I'm gonna look
Netflix
that up.
is still the creme de la creme.
Because Amazon Prime, they have a lot of original, programming. So
yeah, but that
shit I gotta think they're right there.
Yeah, but they got a lot of syndicated TV though. Netflix and Max, they got a lot of syndicated TV. Like, say what you want to, I know this is my bias, but I know Netflix got Martin on it. You know what I'm saying?
They bought some of them like them old black sitcoms that you forget about.
You said Prime does?
No.
You said Netflix?
Does.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Netflix does, yeah.
And that's just our demographic. I'm sure,
I forgot the Hughleys was a sitcom.
Yeah,
in the late '90s, so I saw that thing on there.
Imagine what they're doing for the white people demographic. We just don't watch a lot of white sitcoms, but I'm sure they kill it in that field too. So, for Netflix, sure. Netflix is fine. I guess is what I'm getting at the end of the day. Netflix is fine. They ain't got to do no bullshit like that.
For sure.
But the fight. I know we ain't got a bracket time. The fight. Look, man. I'm glad I'm glad I put out of that bet. Mike Tyson was being played with. He got paid. I'm glad he got paid. I saw somebody tweet that says he took this fight because he really shouldn't have had to take this fight because he should have been a billionaire by now. But he had so much money stolen from him in his career that at 60 years old or damn near 60 years old, he got to take fights, these little bullshit fights, as if his legacy ain't his legacy. Just to, and not to say make ends meet, because I know we ain't talking about him making ends meet, but you know, Like he shouldn't have to be fighting these types of fights. Like this was an amateur fight where he had to sit here and like I watched him tell a little girl interviewer. Shout out to the little girl. I forget her name
I
is
saw that.
Jazzy.
Yeah.
Like
I'm gonna be
he
dead.
shouldn't have to be talking to that little girl. He shouldn't have to talk. Like that nigga is a legend. He shouldn't have to be talking to that little girl, bruh. He shouldn't have to be.
He said the legacy is I ain't gonna be here no more.
Yeah, and that was some real shit. And shout out to her. That little girl is going to be a legendary interviewer. Like she knows how to handle it. She handled that shit. She did.
She did for sure.
She handled that shit. Like
she
shout
did
out to
for
her.
Sure.
But he shouldn't have to be fighting these fights, man. And he should have been fighting with Jake Paul. We know that. And 40 years old Mike Tyson probably would have beat Jake Paul, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But 60-year-old with an ulcer condition, nah. Yeah,
man. And he tried to allude that he wasn't done. Like there was a little bit of I don't know if you want to call it a call out, but when they was doing the post-fight interview and Logan Paul was right there, Logan Paul was like, yo, like I kill you, Mike. Like if you trying to call me out, Mike, you got to be done, man. Like,
yeah, chill.
Come on, man. You were legend in this game.
I saw Evander Holyfield talking about, let's do the
man. Stop, man. Stop it, man.
But low key, I don't want to see it. Let me be clear. I don't want to see two old motherfuckers fighting. I don't.
Nah, I don't.
But to be clear, that would have been a better. Meaning because they're both on their same age, same about physical level. You know what I'm saying? Like when both of them tired, then both of them are just tired, and we get. You know what I'm saying? Like I would entertain. Like Jake Paul was clearly in better physical shape than him.
Yes.
Because he's younger.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, all right, well, put him in the ring with somebody that's his age. So when they both tired, then that's when the real Goliath, man, Titan type of fighting happens. Like who gonna get it through the mud when both of us tired and we really just want to go home? Like, Mike Tyson was done and wanted to go home, but his opponent was fresh.
He was still out there, and he probably said in his mind, like, yo, I could really take this dude out right now, but he Mike Tyson. I can't,
Yeah. Well, I saw somebody on Instagram. I forget who he was. I think it was a rapper, like somebody we know.
Yep.
And a celebrity we know who said, I heard that they were both told to take it easy on each other. Like they were both told to take it easy on each other. So I don't know how true. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna watch the replay of the fight and maybe look for that. But
have fun.
Yeah,
I don't want to see that again.
I'm telling you, I didn't see a lot of it. I didn't see a lot of it. Yeah, I didn't say it.
You didn't miss a lot, man. I'll just say that. I'll just say that. I'm glad it's over though. I'm glad nobody got hurt. I'm glad Mike is still alive. He's with us. You a legend, bro.
Yeah.
Just stay away from the rain, man. You got your 20 mil. Go take care of your family and your people. And look, you want to keep doing that podcast? Keep doing that podcast, man.
I haven't seen an episode from that in a brick though.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while for sure. But if you wanted to go back and do a podcast, then Mike, we'll gladly see you on a podcast. But we don't want to see you in the rain no more, man.
Yeah. And
we don't want to do that.
DeMello, stop saying no homo on interviews, bro.
You got fined $100,000 for that. I saw that.
You didn't remember when Bridges got fined for it? And
didn't Joker get fined for that too?
I don't remember Joker. I remember Mikal Bridges when he was in Brooklyn got fined for it a couple of years ago.
Okay, yeah, Joker. I think Joker got fined for doing it too.
Yeah, come on, y'all. Come on, y'all.
Oh man. With that being said, though, big shout outs. 2 shout outs I want to make. Congrats to Keon Anthony for selecting Syracuse as his next school. Shout out to him for that. I know Mello is, real proud of that happening, the legacy and all that good stuff. So, big ups to the Anthony family on that front. And congrats to James Harden on reaching second place for most 3-pointers taken.
Made.
Tied.
No, I thought it was made.
Made. Yep. Made. Yep. Tied Ray Allen, I think, for second. So
no, passed Ray Allen for a second.
He passed him now. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. But that gap between him and Steph though was still like,
which means he realizes that he ain't gonna get it.
Right.
And that's okay.
Right. Yeah.
That's okay. Steph Curry. He ain't gonna
number
get
two. Two is cool. Number two, if you're James Harden, number 2 is cool.
Yeah.
Number 2 is cool, man.
Let's do some picks, man.
Yep, let's do it, man. Let's do it. Thursday night. I thought I had the schedule up. Okay.
Pittsburgh over Cleveland.
It is. Okay. I'm trying to remember what the Thursday matchup was.
Yeah.
It's in Cleveland. I'm gonna go upset if it's in Cleveland, man. I'm gonna go upset if it's in Cleveland.
It is in Cleveland. Yep, it's in Cleveland.
Okay. Give me the upset. Pittsburgh coming off of a emotional division win, set up for a letdown in Cleveland, and the Browns need something to cheer about. So give me.
Oh, you mean the Ravens need something?
Oh, we definitely need something. Look. December. I don't remember 21st. What date it is. 21st. We're going to be right there for the division. We're going to be right there for the division, bro.
Oh, I'm counting on it.
We're going to be right there, man.
I'm counting on it. And look, and not for nothing, we're going to have, we got the Bengals right after the Browns in Cincinnati. Then we got the Browns
again.
And you
got Browns again, and then you got Philly.
Yep.
You got Philly and Philly, which you never win in Philly. So, trust. We got the Chargers. We got the Eagles coming to us. We got a bye week, and then we got the Giants. So we're gonna be right there.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna be right there. So part 2, get ready for it. Sunday's games, man. Vikings at the Bears. I'm gonna take the Vikings on the road.
Yeah.
Lions, I will take over the Colts in Indy.
Yeah.
Give me the Dolphins over the Patriots. At home. Bucks at the Giants.
Bucks.
I'm gonna take the Giants in this one.
I wouldn't be mad. I'm not mad at that, but
I'll take the Giants. Dallas at the Commanders.
Commanders. Yeah, they like I said, they're sweeping Dallas.
Give me the Commanders. I'll take the Chiefs over the Panthers
for sure.
Texans at home versus the Titans. I will take the Texans.
Mm-hmm.
Broncos in Vegas to take on the Raiders.
The Broncos.
Yep. Another surprising team this year.
Yeah. Bo Nix, old ass, is throwing. That defense playing good, and Bo Nix is making throws.
Yeah. They took Atlanta to the woodshed over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take the Broncos. 49ers at the Packers.
I'm gonna take the Packers.
Okay. I'll go 49ers just to be different. I'll go 49ers. They need it. Cardinals at the Seahawks.
Give me the Cardinals.
I will take the Cardinals also. Sunday night, Eagles at the Rams.
Eagles.
I
can see that upset.
I'm gonna take Rams in the upset. I'm gonna take the Rams. And then you got Monday night. I'm taking the Ravens over the Chargers. Get back on track. Get right game.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm gonna take the Chargers.
Chargers are a good team. Man.
I'm gonna take the Chargers.
They're a real good team. Let me tell you what. Brandon Staley would have lost that game for him the other night.
Yeah.
For sure. Harbaugh making a big difference.
Man, I really got reminded of how good Justin Herbert is Sunday night.
Yeah, like he was running for first downs. And
like
stuff.
You kind of like you forget because the Chargers weren't a good team, but Justin Herbert is. I tweeted it like we forget that Justin Herbert was considered just as good as Joe Burrow at one point in their careers.
Yeah,
and like I said,
he's putting up numbers. Yeah, for sure.
Justin Herbert is nice. Give me the Chargers.
And his numbers are pedestrian to what we're used to seeing him as. But that's just
it's
to
more
me,
effective in that running game.
It's more effective running game, defense. You know, yeah. So that's what's up with them. Big shout out to the chats. I see you, Mike Patton, H-Rap B. I see Rough Buff in there. I see all y'all.
What up, man? X Squad.
Yep. Shout out to the X Squad for sure. Shout out to the folks in the IG live chat. First and Pen, BS3. See you, Miss Taylor. I see y'all. See y'all out there supporting us on the brand there. Continue to follow us on social media. Follow us on Instagram at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. Also on Twitter at Barbershop SPOR2 and at Maestro Styles. You can find him pretty much everywhere. Same hashtag at Maestro Styles. Facebook, we got the Facebook page. Click the like button. Let a friend know. Also, we're on YouTube. We're on Twitch. Click the subscribe button. We truly appreciate the support. Email, if you got questions, comments, hit us up at barbershopsportstalk1@gmail.com. And also, we got a merch store with some hats and some hoodies and some t-shirts. Click on that link in the description of this episode, and we'll, we got some stuff in there for you. And these hats here, I still got a few hats left. So DM me on these hats if you guys are interested. New era hats with the black netting in the back, snapbacks. Real comfortable hats. So
trucker hats, man. They call it trucker hats.
Okay. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, bro. It just sounds cooler to say it the way I said it.
Is it?
It sounds. I just said it sounds cooler.
Gotcha.
Doesn't mean it's not. But
hey, man, it's your opinion, man.
Doesn't mean it is. Doesn't mean it's not. Appreciate you though. It is a trucker hat. All right, folks. Love, peace, and happiness to everybody out there. Maestro, if you got nothing else, man, we signing off. Dope show this week. We got a hot one next week for you. And as always, folks, mind your damn business.
Drink some water.
Oh, yeah, we got him. Trey, Frazier, and Maestro Styles, you know we got one. Right back like we left something. We don't duck smoke, we want all of it. So line them up, Trey shot with the blade, you know we sizing it up. I'm quick to catch the fade, you know Styles making the cut. Cause we coming out clean every time that we showing up.
It's gonna be called The Barbershop.